Indiana Jones is a good franchise? Sure. And last night I just finished watching the last one. So I decided, hey, I haven't talked about I haven't talked about 4 out of 5 of these movies yet. Let's do a ranking video. Also, here's a quick disclaimer. I've been doing the Wheel series. One of these movies is on that wheel. So the movie that's on this wheel will be removed from the wheel. So this will be the video where I talk about how good that movie is. So that means I think we only have 2 movies left on that thing. So progress for us, am I right? So yeah. Let's get started. What is the worst Indiana Jones film? It's Dial of Destiny. Yeah, you all saw that coming. I watched this film yesterday, and I just can't remember much of what happened. Let's talk about some actually good things, because there's not a lot in this movie. The credits was good. I like the music that played over the credits. That was actually good. The opening was very long, and I was not interested. Sorry, I didn't say we're going to the bad things, did I? Okay, so when the movie opened up, we get a younger version of Indy. So if they could have done that for this scene and another scene later in the film, why couldn't they have done it for the entire movie? If they could do that, why couldn't they have done that for the entire movie? Does this make sense? You could have still given us a classic Indiana Jones movie. No one would be mad about that. In fact, I think the main problem with this movie for everyone is that he is old. Is that he is really old. So it's not the classic Indiana Jones we know. It's a different one because he's so old, isn't he? Isn't he, guys? So that's just weird to me. If they knew what they were doing, because in Crystal Skull he's also a little old, but it still feels like it's the same Indiana Jones we've known for the last 19 years. So but this Indiana Jones feels so different because he feels so much older. Yeah, when I first saw Indy in Crystal Skull, I thought, I did not expect him to look like that, especially after only 19 years. This movie, when I first saw Indy on the screen, I was like, why could they not have just kept him like that? If they had the technology to do this, is 2023, guys. You could have definitely done that. Also, speaking of 2023, Disney owns Lucasfilm now. They didn't own them last time. So, I knew this movie was going to be bad when I saw the Disney 100, screen when I first started the movie. I knew it was going to be bad because Star Wars doesn't start with that. Sure, it is a Disney product. We all know that. But imagine how much worse Star Wars The Force Awakens would have been if it had the Disney pop up and then the Lucasfilm, because that's what this film did. So, yeah, I would just find that way worse because it kind of takes away from the illusion. Old Star Wars started with the 20th Century Fox logo. Okay, that's just what I had to do. But 20th Century Fox wasn't really harmful to society, was it? Disney keeps making these weird movies. Disney had the final say in order to revive Indiana Jones. Kids, remember that. So, yeah. Oh, also, I just thought of this. If Disney bought Star Wars from Fox, they would have acquired the property anyway because Disney bought Fox. I just found that funny. That's a little funny thing right there. So, but yeah, what else is in this movie? Oh, another good thing. Sala shows up for less than 5 minutes, and that's the only part I think in the movie where I actually smiled. there's a kid in the movie who I think was trying to be like Short Round, but it didn't work. This movie feels like it has no stakes too, because when Indy was in trouble, I really didn't care. Because he's so old anyway, they could have killed him off, and this is his final installment. So, like, they could have killed him off easily. So I didn't have any, like... I know they would have, because they need their properties. But, like... Come on. I didn't feel anything, because you could have done that. So, oh yeah, also, they stumble upon the set of Gladiator 2 while they're trying to film the movie. Dang it. Why would you do that? I just find that funny. That's what I thought when they went into 912 BC, I think. Like, no, 212 or something. 29? I don't even know. I don't care enough. But, you know, they traveled back in time. This movie actually kind of scared me. Nothing in the movie scared me. But on Disney Plus, it has the science fiction tagline. And that scares me now after what Crystal Skull brought us. So, I mean, I get it. They traveled back in time. But, you know, yeah. So, yeah, this is my thoughts right now. I'll probably rewatch it at the end of the year for my another video I've planned with all the movies I've watched this year that aren't 2024 movies. So, yeah, if I need to talk about more, I'll remember. But, yeah, this movie is not ranked very high on that list. I think it's like third to last. So, that's great. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I made a video. It was a while ago for you guys, but it was like a week ago for me. About a certain movie that's coming up next. Yeah. Crystal Skull is weird. I went into it really hoping it would be better than the next movie on this list. Just to prove everyone wrong that Crystal Skull is a good movie. It's not really that good. But there are actually parts of it that are really good. I think there are scenes in this that are better than Temple of Doom, arguably. But Temple of Doom does have really good scenes. We'll get to that later. But, now we're talking about Crystal Skull. So, yeah, I made an entire video on the topic. Go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. It's basically just called the weirdest movie I think I've ever seen. And I'm just so happy that title went to an Indiana Jones movie. This one. And the thing is, it doesn't even get that weird until the very end. It has some weird moments earlier, sure. But it doesn't get completely bonkers and just trying to... Like, Spielberg basically getting drunk and then writing the rest of the movie. Or directing. I don't even... Did he write the movie? I'm not sure. But... Yeah, it's so weird. Like, it doesn't even feel like an Indiana Jones movie. Mind you, neither does Dial of Destiny. So that's where we're at now. But, yeah. So I talked about that there. So if I forgot to mention something here, maybe it's in the video. If not, I'll talk about it at the end of the year. So, let's see. Okay, the movie opens up with a, this bunker. Okay, also, I forgot to mention this in the Dial of Destiny segment. Last Crusade and then Dial of Destiny kind of feel like more of a sequel. So, in a way, Crystal Skull feels more like a Cars 2. But not really of Dial of Destiny being a real sequel. Because Dial of Destiny kind of goes more into the Nazi side of... am I allowed to say that on here? That side. I said it once, now you understand what I'm talking about. Of that side of... Like, that storyline where, like, they come back in Dial of Destiny, but they weren't there in Crystal Skull, which I thought was weird. So I'm glad that they came back in, like, pretty much the 70s in Dial of Destiny, but weren't in, like, 1939 when Last Crusade takes place. So that's great. But we're talking about Crystal Skull. He has to find a, I don't even remember. I don't know, but we see the Ark, which was cool. I like the Ark references in 2 movies in a row. I really like that. I really liked that. And so we also had this annoying character, Mac. I hate him so much. Please end my suffering and kill me. So yeah, and then Indy has a son that he doesn't know is a son yet. So he teams up with this Shia LaBeouf. It's Shia LaBeouf. We find Marion, and then we find the skull. Maybe like an hour into the movie, boom, we found it. What do we need to do with it now? How did you guys lose it? I don't even remember, because it's probably in a stupid way that Shia LaBeouf messed up. I don't even remember. How did he lose it? How did he lose it to the people? And then how did they get it back? Yeah, I think it was in that car chase scene, which was actually a pretty cool scene. Like, it's just so weird. I don't even remember how things happened. It's just so weird. And, like, I don't think the editing was much better in this either. Like, everything just feels so choppy. So what else? Okay, they find the crystal skull, and here's the thing. The weird stuff doesn't happen until, like, the last 20 minutes of the film. Which, like, yeah, stuff before was not great. That's, like, the real, like, that's where the points go down. And this last scene didn't even make a lot of points go down. Maybe like, I just found, like, let's just talk about it. So we find this cave with all these crystal aliens, like skeletons in them. And so the bad guy, Cate Blanchett, who is the worst villain in the entire franchise, I genuinely think that, I don't know his real name. I'm just going to call him Schmidt. Dr. Schmidt. It was in Dial of Destiny. Like, that's his fake name. It's not real, but he was, I don't remember his real name, so we're just going to call him that. So I thought he was actually a better villain than Cate Blanchett was in this movie, so. But of course, Indiana Jones doesn't really have, like, it's kind of hard to find who's the villain in the movies, like the earlier movies, you know, but they're there. Well, okay, not in Temple of Doom or this movie or, okay, well, yeah, Dial of Destiny is kind of hard to decipher too. So really only Raiders, Raiders and Dial of Destiny is really the only ones that are hard, so I don't know what I'm talking about here. So then Cate Blanchett puts the skull on the missing crystal alien skeleton that doesn't have one. And then here it is. Here's the real part. Here it is, guys. All the skull. So the room starts to collapse. Information is going into Blanchett's mind. And then we get it. All the skeletons form into, you guessed it, an alien. It's an alien in an Indiana Jones movie. I said this in the video. This is what really made it feel like it is a fictional world. That, like, I understand that it's all fictional, but this is the really one that made me think, like, what is Spielberg doing? You had a perfectly fine trilogy with this one, and then you had to go mess it up with aliens. And that's not even it. That's not even the worst part. I actually yelled out loud when the alien came out. I was like, what is happening? And then the real kicker is when they go outside the cave and a UFO comes out of the ground. This is the weirdest movie I've ever seen. And here's the part of it. I keep saying that the last 20 minutes is weird. But I think the existence of this scene just makes the entire movie so much weirder. Because the rest of the movie is a perfectly normal Indiana Jones film. Like, he's just a little older. Some things are just bad. But now it's just like, okay, well, I can't get invested in this anymore because there's aliens at the end of the film. It's so weird. I don't even know. Like, this movie is, I can't even call it bad. But, like, I don't know. The Aliens was actually really interesting to watch. Like, that, if I was going back to, like, Crystal Skull, I wouldn't even watch the rest of the movie. I'd just go back to the alien scene just to see how bonkers it is. Okay, let's move on. I think I've talked about Crystal Skull for way too long than I wanted to on this YouTube channel. So I've heard people call Temple of Doom the weirdest movie Spielberg's ever made. I don't think they've seen Crystal Skull, and if they have, I don't think they've watched it thoroughly. Yes, this movie is insane. This is basically what Crystal Skull would have been if an alien was chasing Indy and friends. But I still think the ending with aliens is weirder somehow than a guy taking someone's heart out and boiling them in water. Yep, aliens are weirder. But I feel like the aliens in Indiana Jones are way more weirder than something like a Temple of Doom in an actual temple. That could happen to Indiana Jones. Aliens never crossed my mind when I was watching these movies. Except for when they did, so. So, what are we talking about now? Temple of Doom? Oh, come on. It's a fine old movie. There are way more good scenes than the last two combined. Let's talk about the good stuff. The opening in Shanghai is really fun. It actually made me think that I get a good movie here. The scene where Indy turns evil is actually really well done. I was actually scared for Short Round. The scene where Short Round brings Indy back and Indy held Short Round over the fire and Indy said, "I'm all right, kid," and they started beating it up. That is one of the best scenes in the entire Indiana Jones franchise. That was good. That was good right there. There's more good stuff. The minecart chase is kind of fun. The bridge scene is kind of well done. The dummies on the bridge were really well done. So yeah, it was fun times. And the rest of the movie is just so weird. Nothing in it is strictly bad. I don't like it. Nothing's really bad. It's more of just slow, uninteresting, racist, and boring. But in a way, it's not boring at all. There's always something going on. Some things I might not want to watch, but there's always something going on, so you're always entertained. So yeah. The opening after Shanghai, after Club Obi-Wan, I saw that. I actually really like that reference. What else? I was distracted by Obi-Wan Kenobi's "Hello There" in my head. So after Shanghai, they go on this plane that's been hijacked, and so they have to jump out with the raft. Like, this might be more ridiculous than the fridge scene. They should all be dead. Then they stumble upon this town where they ask Indy and Short Round, and the other character we'll get to later because she's more annoying than any other character in this film franchise combined. Actually, never mind, that's not true. I don't know why I'm talking to the mic like this. It's actually making the noise meter go off a lot. Hang on, let me catch my breath. They need to find these 3 stones. I think they find them really quick. So there they are. There's no need for us to conflict. Oh, never mind. There's conflict. Found it. So now what? What happens? Oh, all sorts of stuff. Hearts get taken out. Boiling in lava, like I said earlier. Earlier in the movie, there's a racist dinner scene. If you know, you know. If you don't know, please don't find out. Here's the other thing. You can absolutely skip this movie. You are not losing anything. If you really like, its events are never mentioned in any other films. Dial of Destiny referenced it like once in like a 2-minute scene. So you're really not missing much, especially because this isn't a sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is a prequel, kids. So I said in my Letterboxd review, I'm not interested. I don't feel the stakes because I know what will happen. Some prequels are done really, really well. But I don't like when they try and kill someone in a prequel. It doesn't work. I don't feel any stakes because I know that no one in this movie besides Short Round is coming back to the franchise. Did I say Short Round? Shoot, I did not mean to say that. Forget everything you just said. Look at the Jim Halpert Funko. Look at him. Look what he does. Look what he does. Oh, he doesn't say that in the show. That's ridiculous. Did you forget everything I just said? Okay. I don't feel the stakes because I know that none of these characters are coming back except for Indiana Jones. Short Round doesn't come back. The other person I'll talk about later doesn't come back. I forget his name, but the bad guy dies. He's not coming back. Oh, here's another thing. I liked when Indiana Jones did redid the Raiders food poisoning scene with with the swordsman, but he can't do it because he doesn't have a gun anymore in this one, which I thought was weird. I know it's just for referencing sake, which was actually kind of good, but it also makes no sense because he doesn't that because it's like he acts like he's like, oh, I can't do this anymore, even though this is a prequel to Indiana Jones. Like, are you following? Okay, what else makes me feel nothing? Like I said, the minecart chase is actually kind of fun. The ending bridge scene is kind of fun. I guess let's talk about the story. Okay, let's talk about Short Round before I have to talk about the worst character in the film. Short Round is actually really good. He's my favorite character in probably the entire franchise. He's so funny. Now here's I asked my dad how he drank all these. We'll do that at the end of the video, but he said that this movie is actually one of his favorites because the kid is funny, and like I don't blame him. The kid is actually like really funny, but he's not like that. Doesn't amplify movies for me. It amplifies like if a story is good, or if you have Vector. Like Despicable Me 4 is really good because Vector flossed at the end. I mean, the ending scene with the song is one of my favorite scenes in animation history. So I mean, what are you gonna do? I plan on ranking the ends of Illumination movies soon, so turn on that notification bell. Okay, well, Short Round, we've established Short Round is funny. Let's talk about Willie Scott, shall we? She's not funny. I didn't like her. No one does. She's meant to be love interest for Indy. I get she's supposed to be like the opposite of Marion, but like it doesn't work. It doesn't. Marion is just much better. She screams all the time. She's not any help, except for the only time that she needs to be helpful is when Indy and Short Round are trapped, and she has to get, oh, your spider, oh, there's bugs. You are going to kill two people. That is going to be with you forever. Open the door. She's so annoying. I don't like her. Luckily, she never comes back. So if Short Round never had to come back just for her not to come back, I'm okay with that. Short Round, you will be missed. I just never want to see her again. Okay, I think I can talk about some good movies now. This movie is not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's a 6 out of 10, but it's weird. Raiders is a good movie. That's pretty much it. Like, it's a great starter. But here's the problem with that. Batman Begins is also a pretty good start to the Dark Knight trilogy. Raiders is better. Like, I think Batman Begins is on the same level as Temple of Doom, but Last Crusade is just Raiders, but way better. So, like, why would I go back to this one besides to see the ball rolling in the ending? Like, the climax is amazing. That is the most amazing climax in the entire franchise. And there's some pretty good ones in the end. If you've seen Crystal Skull's climax, that's amazing. Am I right? What else? And there's more. Hang on. It's coming to me. The characters aren't too great. Like, Sala is, of course, amazing. He's amazing. You know he is. But Indy's just kind of like the typical action hero. He doesn't have, like, any he doesn't have any traits that really stand out like he does in the other films. Like, Temple of Doom is, like, probably one of the best action movies on this list. Like, it has some great action. But this one just doesn't feel like that. I really don't have much to talk about here. It's a good movie. There's not much wrong with it. But Last Crusade is just this but better. Temple of Doom just has better action. This movie is just kind of the perfect middle ground between those two. There's not much to talk about here. Because, like, yeah, just like there's not much to talk about Batman Begins. Dark Knight is just Batman Begins, but better. So, like, two great movies just overshadowed the first one. There's really not much to talk about with both of those movies. So, yeah, Raiders is a good movie. It's just not much there. I mean, some parts are cliched, but I mean, I remember turning on the TV. Last Crusade's coming up. I'm excited because I want to rewatch Last Crusade on TV. I never done that before. I only watched on Disney Plus. But then Raiders of the Lost Ark was on, and I just found that really funny. They skipped Temple of Doom in the broadcast. I just thought that was really funny. And so it was on the final scene of Raiders, and I got to see the climax again before Last Crusade. So yeah, comics is really good. Best of the franchise. Let's move on to the best one. Molaram, that's his name. That's the bad guy in Temple of Doom. I just remembered it. Sorry, moving on. I don't think there was any doubt about this. Last Crusade is amazing. There wasn't really a point in the movie where I thought, okay, well, this is just stupid. Everything is believable. Everything is so well done. Like, Sala comes back, guys. If I'm ever showing someone all 5 of these movies, there's really no need to show them anything else besides Raiders, Last Crusade, and Dial of Destiny, only because Sala's in them. Sala's probably the best character here. He's so funny. All jokes aside, though, it's just a really strong movie. It's funny. Indy's more fleshed out than he was in Raiders. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remind you, this is the video. This is coming off the wheel. I don't need to make a separate video if I'm going to talk about this movie here in 2025. So, you're welcome. I need to learn to breathe. Really good. Indy and his dad team up, played by Sean Connery. That's a really good acting right there. He was James Bond, so he knows what he's doing. I like how he's also just a bumbling idiot. Indy and his dad get so many laughs, and so does Marcus Brody. Who in their right mind is saying that this movie ruins the existence of his character in the Raiders? What did he do in Raiders? I remember him being there. I don't remember him doing anything important. I don't even remember, his lines could probably have been said by any other character in the movie, and it wouldn't change. I like how Marcus is this bumbling idiot. I like his homage in Crystal Skull. I like Marcus Brody. What I don't like is how they kill characters off screen, though. His son was killed in the military in Dial of Destiny. Okay, cool. This movie is also just really, really fun. Just Last Crusade. Really not much to say about it. It is the best Indiana Jones movie. I give it a 9 out of 10. Mainly because I don't think there's enough here to give it a 10 out of 10. But maybe I'll realize later. But yeah, I'll talk about more of this movie. I'll talk about all 5 of these movies again in the beginning of 2025. You do not want to miss it. That's going to be a fun video. So, yeah. Indiana Jones is a really good franchise. The bad ones, or the good ones, overshadowed the bad ones.